Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in today's episode of the Wrestling Profiles, it's a special episode as there's no way I'm covering this guy's career in under 5 minutes. So here is the WWE career of the Cerebral Assassin, the King of Kings, The Game, and as of tonight, the Hall of Famer, Triple H. Triple H would start his WWE career as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and he'd make his debut on April 30th, 1995 on an episode of the Wrestling Challenge, and then he'd make his WWE pay-per-view debut at SummerSlam later on that year. In October 21st, 1996, Hunter would win his first title, the Intercontinental Championship, and he'd hold it for 115 days, and following the title loss, he would feud with Goldust, and Hunter would start an alliance with Chyna. Hunter would win the 1997 King of the Ring tournament, then along with Chyna, Rick Rude and Shawn Michaels, they would form DX a few months later. He'd be renamed Triple H while in the group, but honestly DX deserves its own profile video, so I won't go too much into that. While in the group, Hunter would win the European Championship a couple of times, having it for an overall 160 days. Due to Shawn Michaels having to temporarily retire, Triple H would take leadership of DX and add members X-Pac, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. He'd win another Intercontinental Championship before targeting the WWE Championship, and in 1999, after a couple of unsuccessful challenges for the title, Triple H and Chyna would betray DX and they would have a brief stint in the Corporation group with Mr. McMahon as the leader. On August 23, 1999, Triple H would win his first WWE Championship, defeating Mankind on Raw for the belt, and he'd have two reigns as champion between August and November of 1999, clocking in at 22 days and 49 days respectively. In December of 1999, Triple H would feud with Mr. McMahon, which would also involve Mr. McMahon's daughter, Stephanie, who would eventually turn heel on her father and become the on-screen wife of Triple H, starting the McMahon-Helmsley era. In January 2000, Triple H would win the WWE Championship for a third time and hold it for 118 days, feuding with the likes of Mick Foley and The Rock, and he would drop it to The Rock and regain it only 3 weeks later and hold it for a further 35 days. After the title reigns, he'd feud with Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the night after WrestleMania 17, Triple H would turn heel and join forces with recently turned bad guy Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they would form the two-man power trip. And as Stone Cold as WWE Champion, and Triple H would win two more Intercontinental Championships while in this partnership, and as a team they would win the World Tag Team Championships as well, making him the second ever Grand Slam champion. On the 21st of May 2001 episode of Raw, Triple H would tear his left quad and be out of action for the rest of the year, as the injury was quite career threatening. On January 7th, 2002, Triple H would return to a huge ovation and declare for the Royal Rumble match, which he would go on to win, and he would challenge the then undisputed WWE Champion Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 18. Triple H would win and become a now 5-time WWE Champion, however he would only hold the title for 35 days. At Vengeance 2002, Triple H reunited with Shawn Michaels, but would very quickly betray him, turning heel again, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels will go on to have one of the all-time great feuds in the coming years. On the 2nd of September 2002, Triple H would be awarded what was the WCW Championship, now rebranded the World Heavyweight Championship, and between late 2002 and mid-2005, Triple H would be synonymous with the world title. He'd have 5 reigns with the title, feuding with the likes of Goldberg, Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Scott Steiner, Randy Orton, Kevin Nash and Batista, and his single longest reign with the championship was 280 days, and during this time he would form a new group involving Batista, Ric Flair and Randy Orton named Evolution, and they would dominate Raw in 2002 and 2003, with at one point all 4 members leaving Armageddon 2002 as champions. In 2005, Triple H and Batista would have great battles over the world title, and in June he would go on hiatus for 4 months due to minor neck issues. Upon return, he'd feud with Ric Flair for the rest of the year and be unsuccessful in the 2006 Royal Rumble, feud with John Cena over the WWE Championship. Later on in 2006, Triple H and Shawn Michaels would properly reunite as DX and have a long feud with Mr. McMahon and Shane McMahon, involving others like the Spirit Squad, Umaga, Big Show, as well as others. And after that, the team of Edge and Randy Orton, rated RKO, would feud with DX until Triple H suffered another torn quad, taking him out from January 2007 to August 2007. Upon return, he would feud with King Booker, Umaga, and then Randy Orton, winning his 6th WWE Championship, but the reign would only last a couple of hours as Randy Orton would take the title back on the same night. At Backlash 2008, Triple H won the WWE Championship again and would hold it for 210 days, defending against Edge, the Great Khali, Vladimir Kozlov, and then lose it to Edge at Survivor Series. At No Way Out 2009, Triple H would win his 8th WWE title and restart his feud with Randy Orton over the title. His feud with Randy Orton then turned into a feud with Legacy, the group that Randy Orton led, and this would see DX reunite for a second time, and it would last until about March 2010, and during this run Triple H and Shawn Michaels won the Unified Tag Team Championships and held them for 57 days. After that, he'd feud with Sheamus, The Undertaker over the Streak, Kevin Nash, CM Punk, Awesome Truth, and then start a very intense rivalry with Brock Lesnar. While all this was going on, Triple H started to go more part-time and would become the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of WWE. At SummerSlam 2013, Triple H would turn heel and become the leader of The Authority. They would control WWE, and it will see Triple H be more of a suit-wearing, behind-the-scene villainous boss alongside his wife Stephanie McMahon. He'd still wrestle from time to time with feuds against The Shield and most impactful Daniel Bryan, as well as John Cena, which he wouldn't get much physically involved in. On January 24th, 2016, Triple H would enter the Royal Rumble and he would win his 9th WWE Championship, putting his career tally of major championships to a huge 14 times. After a 70-day reign as champion, he would lose the title to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 32, and this would be the last championship he would win. From April 2016 to April 2019, Triple H would have a match from time to time if the story or event ever needed it, such as the matches with Seth Rollins, representing Team Raw at Survivor Series, and his last bouts with the likes of John Cena, Randy Orton, and The Undertaker, and tag team matches, which no one really talks about at the Saudi Arabia events. Triple H announced his retirement on March 25th, 2022, but the story doesn't quite end there, as on September 6th, 2022 he became the Chief Content Officer of WWE, and in 2019 he would be inducted into the Hall of Fame as part of DX. Today, Triple H is still head of creative in WWE, and the company is probably the most popular it ever has been, and he's been a big part as to why. And as of time of recording, tonight Triple H is going into the Hall of Fame as an individual, and in my opinion it is well overdue, and I can't wait for the ceremony to see how everything goes down. But I definitely consider Triple H to be one of the greatest in WWE history. So that is the WWE career of one of the greatest of all time, Triple H. Do you put down in comments your favourite moment or moments of Triple H's illustrious career? And yeah, any other profiles you'd like to see me do in the future, whether it's current superstars or legends, I do both. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.